You lie back, feeling the gentle weight of the day dissolve, and you listen to the faint ticking of an ordinary clock. Its hands move forward, second after second, like tiny footsteps in silence. You have always trusted this rhythm. It is steady. It is loyal. It is the sound of time itself, or so it seems. But tonight, as you rest, you begin to wonder, is this ticking truly the same everywhere, for everyone in every corner of the universe? Could time, which feels so constant, actually be something softer, more fluid, more fragile than you have ever realized? The thought is gentle, like a breeze through an open window. You imagine your wristwatch, lying quietly by your side, its small heart pulsing in perfect order. Yet behind that order lies a secret. The tick of that clock is not absolute. It is a whisper of something larger, a rhythm woven into the fabric of space itself. Time, you discover, is not a drumbeat striking the same note forever. Time is more like a river. It flows steadily when you stand at its banks, but if you step into the current, you feel the pull change. The water moves differently in different places. Sometimes it rushes, sometimes it drifts. The river is never exactly the same for all who touch it. You picture yourself holding that river in your pocket. Your watch is the bottle. The clock faces its window. You believe you have captured the flow of time inside it. Yet as you hold it, the river slips and shifts, moving faster or slower, depending on where you stand in the vast world. Pause and breathe slowly. Notice your own heartbeat, a natural clock that ticks not in metal gears, but in pulses of life. Every beat is a moment. Every inhale, every exhale is a passing second. And yet, if you could step beyond Earth into the skies where satellites circle, your heartbeat and your watch would no longer agree. This is a quiet mystery you are entering now. Time is not fixed. It is not universal. It bends and flexes, depending on motion and on gravity. But before you reach that vast idea, you sit here in the calmness of your room, listening to the small ticking by your side. You let yourself be guided by the idea that this sound is only one version of time's flow, not the ultimate truth. You drift back in memory, perhaps to the first time you held a clock as a child. The second hand seemed magical, moving endlessly without growing tired. You trusted it, the way you trusted sunrise and sunset, the way you trusted sleep to come at night. But just as daylight stretches and shortens with the seasons, time itself stretches and shortens in ways you cannot feel. Imagine, softly, that you're floating above Earth, looking down at the oceans and continents. You carry your little watch with you. On the ground below, another watch ticks in perfect rhythm. Yet soon, the two no longer match. The one with you in the sky drifts ahead. Its seconds are slightly longer or shorter than those on Earth. The difference is small, just fractions of fractions, but it is real. And in that small difference lies an entire universe of wonder. Time is both comfort and mystery. It is a thread by which you measure your days, but it is also a fabric that stretches beyond your understanding. Tonight, you are not here to solve it or control it. You are only here to listen, to let its whispers guide you into rest. Close your eyes. Picture time not as numbers, but as light streaming across the sky. Every star you see is not only far in space, but far in time. When you gaze upward, you do not see the present moment. You see the past, delivered to you by light traveling for years, centuries, sometimes millions of years. Even starlight obeys a strange truth. Time is not the same everywhere. And so, in this calm hour, you feel something soften. The clock in your pocket is a companion, but it is not a master. It is a guide to a rhythm that belongs only to you in this place, at this moment. Somewhere else in the quiet orbit above Earth, another clock sings a slightly different tune. Together, they remind you that the universe is alive with many streams of time, flowing like countless rivers toward a vast ocean you have not yet seen. Breathe again. The seconds stretch. The room grows quieter. You begin to imagine, if time itself can change, then what does it mean for your life, your choices, your memories? Perhaps the past is closer than you thought. Perhaps the future is already unfolding differently than your clock can measure. Perhaps the present moment is the only place where you truly belong. And so, you rest with this thought. The clock you hold is not just a device. It is a doorway. Behind it lies a deeper world where time bends, slows, and speeds, where rivers meet oceans, where whispers become songs, where you too are part of the flowing fabric. You let your thoughts drift as if carried gently by that river. For now, you need not swim. You only float, carried by the current of curiosity and calm. Tomorrow will bring new questions, but tonight you are safe within the mystery. You are still drifting, still listening to the soft ticking that accompanied you through the first chapter. But now the sound seems to fade, replaced by the quiet scratch of a pen across paper. In your imagination, you see a man seated at a simple desk. No grand laboratory, no glowing instruments, just thought, just curiosity. Albert Einstein. His name carries a weight of genius now. But at the moment you meet him in this story, he is not a legend. He is a quiet clerk in a patent office, surrounded by stacks of papers that are not his own. He stamps them, files them, returns them, all while his mind wanders far beyond the walls of his office. You watch him lean back in his chair, staring into space as if the universe itself is waiting to answer his questions. And what is his question? It is simple, yet it bends the world. He wonders, what is time? You feel the gentleness of the thought. Time, as you know it, feels steady. But Einstein dares to ask whether it could stretch, whether it could bend. His revolt is not loud, not harsh. It is tender, as if he is listening to the whispers of the cosmos with unusual patience. You close your eyes, and in this bedtime journey, you become a passenger in his thought experiments. Imagine, he says, a train gliding across the countryside. You stand by the tracks and see lightning strike at both ends of the train. To you, the bolts appear at the same instant, but to a passenger riding the train, moving closer to one strike and farther from the other, the flashes cannot be simultaneous. The passenger will swear one came before the other. And there it is, the first ripple. If simultaneity, the very now of events, depends on where you stand, then time itself cannot be absolute. It cannot be the same for all. Breathe with this. Imagine the two flashes of lightning as candles in the night. To one pair of eyes, they burn together. To another, one flame leaps first, the other second. Which view is true? Both. Neither. The truth is that time does not stand rigid, but flows in relation to your motion. This thought is simple enough to picture, and yet it changes everything. You feel the ground beneath you soften, as if the floor of your certainty is gently tilting. Einstein's quiet revolt is reshaping not only clocks, but your very sense of reality. He writes, he calculates, but more than anything, he imagines. He trusts pictures in his mind as much as measurements in a lab. You follow him as he imagines chasing a beam of light. What would you see if you could ride alongside it, moving as fast as it does? Could you catch it? Could you freeze its wave? No, Einstein realizes. Light is different. Its speed is unchanging, constant for all observers. Whether you are still, walking, or racing on a train, the beam of light moves at the same pace relative to you. And because light refuses to compromise, time and space must. They must bend, adjust, and stretch to preserve light's constancy. You let this sink in. Light is the anchor, the unshakable thread. And everything else, your seconds, your meters, your rhythm, becomes flexible. To understand it more softly, you imagine two dancers holding hands, circling in the dark. One dancer is space, the other is time. If the grip of light is to remain steady, then when space moves forward, time must lean back, and when time steps ahead, space must adjust. They are not separate. They are one dance, space-time. Einstein does not shout this revelation. He whispers it to the world in papers written in 1905. At first, few notice. The idea is too strange, too unsettling. But like the quiet spreading of dawn, it grows brighter and brighter, until the world cannot ignore it. You lie back and feel the truth of it in your body. If you move quickly enough, your heartbeats themselves would stretch. Your breathing, your thoughts, your very life would slow compared to someone still. Yet to you, inside your body, nothing would feel unusual. Time bends without telling you. It bends quietly, faithfully, just as Einstein imagined. The revolt, then, is not a war against time, but a deep listening. Einstein listened to the logic of the universe and accepted its strangeness. He accepted that absolutes were illusions, and relativity was the deeper truth. You imagine walking with him along a quiet riverbank, the water flowing slowly in the dusk. He points out that no matter how fast you walk, the ripples of light that dance across the water move with the same speed. You may strain to catch them, but they will not yield. Instead, your steps and your sense of time shift to accommodate them. This realization is not violent. It is not chaotic. It is serene, like the river's own flow. And as you drift deeper into this chapter, you realize the bending of time is not just a theory. It is a promise that the universe is alive, flexible, and far more mysterious than you were taught to believe. You rest now, with the faint memory of Einstein's general revolt still echoing in your thoughts, the quiet suggestion that time itself bends, that simultaneity dissolves like mist in the morning light. But tonight your mind turns to something deeper still, something that holds you even now as you lie here, the unseen embrace of gravity. It feels ordinary, this downward tug you take for granted, the force that keeps your body pressed against the bed, that makes every object fall, that anchors the oceans to the earth and guides the moon through its soft silver path across the sky. Yet in Einstein's vision, it is no longer a simple force pulling from afar, but shaping a reality itself, the very fabric of space and time curving beneath the weight of matter. You imagine yourself lying not on solid ground, but on an invisible sheet stretched wide across the cosmos, a sheet so delicate and yet so unbreakable that it holds the planets, the stars, even your own body. Place something heavy on this sheet, and it dips, curving downward. Place the sun, and the entire fabric bends like a vast bowl, cradling Earth and the other planets in its curve. They move not because of a rope that pulls them, but because the surface beneath them is bent, and the straightest path is now a circle. This, you realize, is gravity's invisible hand, guiding you without touch, holding you without pulling, shaping your moments in silence. Breathe slowly and feel this hand at work. Each inhale, each exhale is timed against a background you cannot see. Gravity does not simply keep your body in place. It also slows the very passage of your seconds. Imagine two identical clocks, one at sea level, deep within Earth's embrace, the other carried to the snowy summit of a mountain. To your ears they sound the same. To your eyes they tick in unison. Yet with the sensitivity of atomic precision, you discover a difference. The mountain clock runs faster, its seconds shorter, lighter, freer. The clock near the ocean lags behind, its time stretched by gravity's weight. And this is not theory alone. It has been measured, proven, lived. Time itself flows differently depending on where you stand in gravity's field. You picture yourself climbing such a mountain. With each step upward, you're not only rising in space, but in time. Your watch ticks imperceptibly quicker. Your heartbeat keeps rhythm to a slightly different tempo than those who remain below. At the summit, the view is vast, the air thin, and the seconds slip more swiftly than at the valley floor. You would never notice with your senses, for you carry your own clock within you, and all your inner rhythms remain consistent to you. Yet compared to another below, your life has unfolded just a breath more quickly, a billionth of a second, perhaps, but real all the same. This truth, soft as a whisper, reveals that your very experience of time depends on your place in the universe. And so you imagine astronauts circling the planet far above the clouds. They float free from Earth's weight, and their clocks tick faster still than yours. Days pass for them just a fraction differently, yet when compared to Earth, their rhythm diverges. The universe is alive with countless streams of time braided together by gravity's invisible hands. You lie there, letting this realization calm you. There is no single river of time rushing forward the same for all. There are many currents, gentle and invisible, weaving through the cosmos. You are always within one of them, flowing at the pace gravity grants you. Close your eyes and picture the Earth itself, a vast sphere bending the sheet of space-time beneath it. You rest within that curve, like a bird nestled in a valley. You may not feel the slope beneath you, but it guides your every step, your every breath, your every second. And then you imagine the sun, immense beyond comprehension. It's gravity bending space so profoundly that the planets trace endless loops within its well. Yet even greater are the stars beyond, galaxies curving the fabric on unimaginable scales, black holes pinching it so tightly that even light cannot escape. Everywhere, gravity is not a rope or a chain, but the shape of the stage itself, the hidden geometry in which life unfolds. Let this thought soothe you. Gravity does not fight against you. It holds you. It keeps you grounded. It allows you to sleep without drifting into the cold vastness of space. Even your dreams are cradled by it, each image resting gently in its embrace. Without it, there would be no mountains, no oceans, no breath. Without it, time itself would lose its rhythm. For it is gravity that slows and sculpts time, that keeps seconds different at sea and at sky, that shapes the very way your body ages. Even if only by the faintest fraction, you begin to understand why the engineers of GPS satellites must bow to gravity's law. Those satellites orbiting high above Earth are farther from its grasp, and so their clocks tick faster than yours. If left uncorrected, they would drift quickly out of sync, and the maps you trust would lead you astray, placing you miles from where you stand. The invisible hands of gravity not only hold the satellites in their paths, but also adjust the very rhythm of their ticking. The fact that your phone can guide you to a doorstep, to a corner, to a street, is proof that Einstein's vision was true. Time bends with gravity, and without accounting for it, modern life would crumble into error. This is a paradox you wrestle with now. Gravity is gentle enough to cradle you in sleep, yet powerful enough to shape the flow of time across the universe. It is both comfort and mystery, both anchor and sculptor. The hands you cannot see are always with you, pressing lightly against your body, pressing softly against your seconds, molding them into a rhythm unique to your place on Earth. Lie still and let yourself feel it, not as a pull, not as a weight, but as a presence, vast and invisible. You are inside its curve, and so is everything you love, every star you see, every planet turning in its endless orbit. Gravity is not the enemy of freedom. It is a fabric that allows freedom to exist at all, a silent partner in the dance of time and space. And so, as you drift deeper into rest, the thought lingers. Your seconds are not the same as those in mountains, nor those above the clouds, nor those beside distant stars. Time is a garden of many streams, each nurtured by gravity's invisible hands. You need not fear it, for you belong to it, and it belongs to you. Sleep comes easily now, carried by the gentle curve of the world beneath you, carried by the whisper of gravity guiding you always. And yet, as calm as his knowledge is, it opens another question, one that flickers softly at the edge of your thoughts. If time bends under gravity's hand, what then of motion? What happens to time when you yourself begin to move swiftly, to race across the cosmos? Does time stretch further? Does it yield in yet another way? The answers lie ahead, waiting in the rhythm of your next breath. You rest in the quiet cradle of gravity's invisible hands, comforted by the thought that your very seconds are being sculpted by the earth beneath you. The curve of space-time has held you gently, reminding you that time itself can flow differently depending on where you lie, where you breathe, where you dream. But as you drift deeper, a new question rises in your mind like a soft ripple in a still pond. If gravity can bend time, then what about motion? What happens when you move swiftly, when you rush through space, when you dance with speed? This question does not come as a thunderclap, but as a whisper, a slow stirring in the fabric of thought, pulling you into the next stream of wonder. You begin with stillness. Lying here, your body is quiet, your breath is slow, your heart beats with a soft rhythm of rest. To you, this feels absolute, unmoving. Yet even now, in your seeming stillness, you are not still. The earth beneath you spins on its axis, carrying you eastward at hundreds of meters every second. The planet itself rushes around the sun at nearly 30 kilometers each second. The sun, in turn, drifts through the galaxy at even greater speeds, pulling you with it, sweeping you through a spiral arm of the Milky Way. You are never truly still, and yet you feel still, because everything around you moves with you. Stillness is always relative. Einstein's gentle revolt taught you this truth, that motion changes how you see the world, how you measure events, how you experience time. Imagine again the train gliding across the countryside, the flashes of lightning striking at both ends. For one observer, they are simultaneous. For another, racing aboard the train, they are not. The lesson is clear. Motion bends the order of time itself. But tonight, you travel further into that mystery, into ways speed slows the very ticking of life's clocks. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking along a quiet river. The water drifts calmly, carrying leaves and reflections of stars. You step faster, and the river seems to resist you, its current changing in relation to your pace. Now imagine not walking, not running, but moving at immense speeds, faster than any jet, faster than any rocket. What would time feel like then? Einstein's insight is both strange and serene. The faster you move, the slower your time flows compared to those who remain still. Your heartbeats stretch, your seconds lengthen. Your entire life moves more slowly when measured against those at rest. To you, nothing changes. Your body feels the same, your breath steady, your thoughts smooth. But compared to another, to one standing on the ground as you rush by, your time is dilated, stretched like the surface of a balloon. You imagine two twins. One remains on Earth, growing steadily older, their days unfolding with familiar rhythm. The other boards a spaceship, accelerating to near the speed of light. For the traveler, weeks pass, perhaps months. Yet upon returning, they find their twin has aged years, perhaps decades. The symmetry of childhood has been broken by motion's effect on time. This is the twin paradox. Though paradox is not the right word, for it is no contradiction. It is a natural flow of relativity, proven and unshaken. Let this image soften in your mind. Time is not a rigid ladder where everyone climbs each rung together. It is a fabric, flexible and shifting, stretched by both gravity and speed. You are always within its weave, always moving in your own rhythm, which may not match another's. Your seconds are your own, shaped by your place and your pace. You breathe more deeply now, imagining yourself as a traveler. You sit in the window of a spacecraft, stars rushing past in silence. Inside, your heart ticks normally, your breath slow and calm. You sip water, you close your eyes, you dream. Days pass, and yet outside, the world you left behind is racing forward. Every second you live is slower than theirs, every moment stretched by your velocity. When you return, you will discover that what felt like a short absence to you was long and enduring to them. This truth is not fiction. It has been measured in experiments where jets carry atomic clocks into the sky, only to find upon return that they disagree with their twins left on the ground. Satellites, too, circling high and fast, tick differently, their time bending under both gravity's lightning touch emotion's slowing hand. Every map you use, every signal you trust depends on acknowledging this truth, on correcting for the strange but steady way speed shapes time. And yet, for all its strangeness, the idea carries a meditative calm. The faster you move, the more slowly you age relative to others. Imagine that motion as a kind of elongation, a gentle stretching of your lifetime. The universe rewards a voyager with extended moments, though at the cost of leaving others behind. It is both beautiful and bittersweet, both gift and solitude. But here in the stillness of your bed, you are not rushing at light's edge. You are moving gently, carried by earth, by sun, by galaxy. Your time flows in familiar rhythm, unbroken and soft. You do not notice the dilation of your seconds, for they belong to you alone, and relativity does not disturb the harmony of your own inner clock. Still, as you drift toward sleep, it is comforting to know that your life is not fixed, not rigid, but woven into a cosmic fabric where time bends, where motion sculpts, where stillness is always relative. And so the chapter's lesson lingers, that speed is not only motion through space, but also motion through time. That the faster you move, the more your moments lengthen, the more your stillness deepens. For the speed of stillness is itself a paradox. To be moving so quickly that your own sense of time remains calm, serene, undisturbed, even as the universe around you rushes forward. You let this mystery hold you as sleep begins to fold itself around you, knowing that soon another truth will reveal itself. For if speed bends time and gravity bends time, what then of the stars above, each carrying its own rhythm, each orbiting in space-time's vast embrace? The sky itself, filled with clocks, is waiting for you to listen. Above you now stretches the night sky, endless and patient, scattered with stars that have watched over Earth since long before you were born. You lie still, breathing slowly, and imagine each star as a kind of clock, each one keeping its own rhythm, each one whispering time in its own voice. It is strange to think of the heavens this way, but comforting too. The sky is not only beautiful, it is orderly, structured, and alive with patterns of time. You remember how gravity bends your seconds, how speed stretches your moments. Now you look upward and realize that everywhere above you, in the thin orbits around Earth and the deeper reaches of space, there are countless timekeepers. They're ticking essential to the world you know. The satellites circling high above the clouds carry atomic clocks, instruments of astonishing precision, measuring time and vibrations of atoms. So steady they drift only by a billionth of a second over days. These are the guardians of your modern life. Without them, your phone would not guide you through city streets. Airplanes would lose their bearings. Ships would wander blind across oceans. Picture them now, those satellites, like quiet lanterns gliding through the dark, each one holding a tiny clock that ticks differently than your own. Because they orbit far from Earth's surface, gravity weakens, and their clocks run faster than yours. Because they also move swiftly, racing around the planet in 90-minute loops, motion slows their time. Two forces act at once. Gravity's lightning touch speeding them up, and velocity's embrace slowing them down. And yet, neither cancels the other perfectly. The balance tips, leaving their clocks to tick just a little faster than those on Earth. Imagine this difference as a breath in the dark. So small you could never feel it, yet so significant that within hours it would ruin every calculation you depend upon. A GPS signal travels from the satellite to your phone, carrying the imprint of time. If that time drifts, even slightly, your position on the map begins to slip. A step becomes a street becomes a mile, and soon you are lost. The harmony of these skybound clocks must be maintained with exquisite care, corrected constantly, so that their rhythm matches your world below. Let this sink in softly. The very act of finding yourself on Earth, knowing your place, your direction, your path, depends on listening to clocks in the sky. You live your life rooted to the ground, yet guided always by the whispers of time flowing above you. And beyond satellites, beyond technology, there are older clocks, more ancient than humanity itself. The stars, steady in their rhythms, rising and setting with precision that guided sailors across oceans centuries ago. The pulsars, collapsed stars spinning with perfect regularity, flashing beams of light like celestial lighthouses. These cosmic metronomes keep time on scales both vast and intimate, marking the dance of galaxies, the unfolding of cosmic ages. Breathe gently and imagine yourself lying in a quiet field, gazing upward. Each star you see is not only distant in space, but distant in time. The light reaching you tonight may have begun its journey hundreds, thousands, even millions of years ago. You are always looking backward, seeing not the present but a memory written in light. The stars are clocks not only because they rise and set, but because their glow carries the past into your eyes, reminding you that time is layered, that every glance into the night is also a glance into history. Even your body feels this truth. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your breath, all forged in stars long ago, their fiery clocks marking the birth and death of suns. You are made of stellar time, shaped by the rhythm of stars exploding and seeding the universe with elements that will become you. Lie still and let the sky above be your teacher. A sky filled with clocks is not cold or mechanical. It is wondrous, alive with music too slow for human ears, too steady for human eyes. The satellites hum in orbits. The stars blaze with memory. The galaxies drift on scales of billions of years. And yet somehow, their collective rhythm creates harmony enough for you to navigate a street, to find your way home, to know the moment in which you breathe. There's serenity in this thought. You are never lost, not truly. Even in darkness, even in uncertainty, the universe itself offers you timekeepers, signals of orientation, whispers of rhythm. Every second is part of a larger song, and you are both listener and participant. But as you drift deeper into the calm of this chapter, another thought begins to shimmer. If the sky is filled with clocks, each ticking differently, each shaped by gravity, by speed, by distance, Then how do we reconcile them? How do we hold together a universe where every place has its own time? The answer lies not in resistance, but in acceptance. The clocks do not fight. They coexist. They are woven into relativity's fabric, each valid in its own frame, each carrying its own truth. Harmony does not mean sameness. Harmony means difference held together. And so, as your eyes grow heavy, you let this lesson soothe you. The night sky is filled with clocks, yes, but it is also filled with peace. Each star, each satellite, each pulse of light has its own tempo, yet together they create the orchestra in which you live. Your seconds are part of that music, your breath's another instrument, your dreams a melody joining the cosmic score. You lie in the calm shadow of the night, still remembering the sky filled with clocks, satellites circling, stars pulsing, galaxies drifting, each marking its own rhythm of time. Yet woven through all of them, through every orbit and every glow, there's one truth that does not bend, one constant that binds the universe together: the speed of light. Tonight, you drift gently into that truth, following the photon, the smallest traveler, the simplest messenger, the relentless courier of reality. Close your eyes and imagine a single beam of light leaving a star. It travels outward in silence, crossing empty space with perfect speed, never hesitating, never slowing, never tiring. It does not matter if the star itself is racing through the galaxy, or if you are moving to meet it, or if you turn away. The beam of light moves always at the same pace, a rhythm so steady it becomes the foundation of relativity itself. It is not like sound, which bends with the wind, or water waves, which slow in shallow streams. Light moves at one speed only, constant for all, a cosmic heartbeat that refuses to change. Einstein listened to this constancy and understood what it meant. If light cannot bend its rule, then space and time must. They must stretch, tilt, and shift to preserve light's unchanging pace. The universe, in all its vastness, builds itself around the insistence of light. Picture yourself now, standing at the edge of a vast lake at night. The moon's reflection ripples across the surface, shimmering softly. If you walk slowly, the reflection seems steady. If you run, the ripples chase you, stretching and shifting. But light is different. No matter how you move, no matter how fast, the beam rushing toward you arrives at the same pace. You cannot catch it. You cannot escape it. It is the ultimate measure, the unwavering metronome. This is why time bends, why simultaneity dissolves, why motion slows the ticking of your seconds. To honor light's constancy, the universe allows everything else to flex. You are not betrayed by this truth. You are carried by it, sheltered by it, held in its symmetry. Let yourself imagine following a photon on its journey. Perhaps it begins in the heart of the sun, born from fusion's fire. For thousands of years it fights its way through dense plasma, scattering and bouncing, until at last it escapes into open space. From that moment forward, it moves in silence, in purity, at the one speed it has always known. It races toward Earth, and after 8 minutes, it kisses your face as warmth, or strikes your eye as golden light, or feeds a green leaf with energy. This is its relentless journey. Its one task, never altered, never delayed. Now imagine a photon traveling not minutes, but centuries. It leaves a distant star, crossing light years of emptiness. It passes planets, nebulae, drifting dust. And after all this time, it arrives here, tonight, in your gaze, carrying with it the memory of where it came from. You look at the star, but you see the past, the star as it was when that photon began. The night sky is not a present, but a museum of light, each point a relic delivered by photons who never faltered in their speed. Breathe with this thought. You live surrounded by memory, every glance upward a vision of time gone by. And yet the constancy of light allows you to trust these visions, to build maps of the cosmos, to measure distances, to navigate not only your planet but the entire universe. Without light's relentlessness, the sky would be chaos. With it, the sky is an orderly library of time. You feel the calm power of this truth. Even the satellites above depend on it. Every GPS signal is a burst of light. Radio waves are simply light at a different frequency, racing from orbit to your phone. The time it takes to arrive, measured in billions of seconds, tells you where you are. If light did not hold steady, if its speed were not absolute, your world of navigation and connection would collapse. Yet beyond its utility, there is poetry in this constancy. Light is impartial. It belongs to no one, bends for no one, obeys no one. A king or a child, a planet or a pebble, all receive it the same way. It levels the universe, reminding you that existence itself is bound together by a single law, unshaken, eternal. And so, in the stillness of your rest, you imagine yourself becoming the photon. You shed weight, you shed time, you shed distance. For light, there is no waiting, no aging, no journey as you understand it. From its own perspective, a photon leaves and arrives in the same instant. Its voyage across a galaxy is, to itself, no time at all. To live at light speed is to live outside of time entirely. You cannot join it, for you are matter. You are bound to clocks and rhythms. But you can dream of it. You can marvel at it. You can let it soothe you with the knowledge that something so constant, so steady, exists at the heart of reality. This is why Einstein built relativity around it. Light is the anchor. Everything else bends. You live in a world where seconds stretch and shorten, where distances expand and contract, all to preserve the dignity of light speed. It is relentless and it is kind. Lie still and let the journey continue. Photons pass through your window even now, ancient starlights slipping into your room. They do not wake you. They do not disturb you. They are simply arriving as they always have, as they always will. Each one a messenger, each one a proof that the universe honors its own constancy. And as your breath deepens, as your thoughts grow slower, you sense the next wonder waiting. If light is the anchor of relativity, then what does it mean for you? For your body, for the rhythms of life that are themselves clocks? If every cell, every heartbeat, every nerve signal is a kind of clock, then you too are woven into this fabric. Soon, you'll discover how your own body is a measured time, flowing within relativity's embrace. It will hold you. Your body knows how to measure a night and mend a day. It knows when to lie still and listen to yourself the way you might listen to rain, not for the noise, but for the rhythm. There is a hush between breaths, a soft interval between heartbeats, a pause in which the body remembers how to continue. You are, in this quiet, a cathedral of clocks. Some tick boldly, the lube dub in your chest, the rise and fall of your lungs. Others work in silence, ions passing through a neuron's gate, proteins folding into shapes, the slow turn of cells through sleep, repair, and waking. You are time made of matter. You are rhythm woven from light. Place a hand over your heart. Feel that steady percussion. Every beat is a metronome for the rest of you, a signal that blood moves, oxygen arrives, warmth spreads, and tissues hum. Yet, the heart is not the only clock. Deep in the brain, a small cluster of neurons, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, so tiny to hide on a pin, keeps watch over day and night. It listens to morning light through your eyes and resets your internal day, nudging hormones to rise at dawn and dim at dusk. This is your circadian clock, a wheel that turns in roughly 24 hours. Even in darkness, even in silence, you are a tapestry of nested tempos. Some rhythms are swift, the flash of an electrical signal along a nerve, the opening and closing of a calcium channel. Some are slow, the cycling of cortisol at sunrise, the peak of melatonin at night, the monthly tides of hormones, the seasonal sway of mood and appetite. Each rhythm speaks to the others, a choir tuning itself every day, so that your body knows when to digest, when to sleep, when to heal, when to dream. And all of these clocks obey physics as faithfully as the orbits of planets. When gravity shifts, when speed changes, your body's processes do not step outside the universe. They adapt within it. If time dilates, whether by altitude or by motion or by the general curve of Earth itself, your cells tick inside that dilation. The chemistry that times your life remains precise in your own frame, even as another observer's seconds stretch or shrink. Your subjective normal is anchored. Your inner clocks agree with one another, carrying you through the day with seamless grace. But travel alters the weave. Cross time zones, and you feel it. The choir goes slightly out of tune. Melatonin rises at the wrong hour. Hunger knocks at midnight. Thoughts turn hazy in the afternoon. Jet lag is your circadian clock negotiating with the sun, asking to learn a new city sky. It will, given days, retune the orchestra, shifting hormones by minutes, then hours, until the inner dawn meets the outer one again. This is your body as a scientist, running careful experiments in real time. Observe the light, adjust a phase, repeat. Sleep itself is a clock, but not a single one. Sleep arrives in stages, like slow waves rolling toward a shore. In deep sleep, neurons pulse together, a chorus moving as one. In REM sleep, the brain becomes a theater. Eyes flicker, muscles rest, and images flow. Each cycle lasts roughly 90 minutes, repeating across the night, with deep sleep visiting early and dreams lingering late. The timing is not accidental. During deep sleep, growth hormone surges, tissues repair, memories consolidate. During REM, the brain integrates emotion, sketches meaning, tries on possibilities like costumes. You wake with repairs made and stories softened. A workshop completed in the hours you surrendered to stillness. Even your digestion tells time. There's a dawn for enzymes, a noon for absorption, a dusk for rest. The liver keeps schedules, the pancreas keeps appointments, the microbiome keeps its own calendar. Feed these clocks irregularly and they wobble. Feed them consistently and they purr. Shift a meal by hours and your body, patient but honest, asks for a little time to realign. You are many metronomes learning to agree. Breathe. Notice how each inhale is slightly longer than each exhale, or the reverse, depending on the moment. Your heart hears a breath and changes tempo, a quickening as you inhale, a slowing as you release. This dance is respiratory sinus arrhythmia, a healthy elasticity that shows your nervous system is listening, adjusting, balancing. Calm spreads not as an abstract mood, but as a time pattern of electricity and chemistry, a choreography of pace. Quietly beneath the skin, proteins keep time too. In almost every cell, a feedback loop of genes and their products rises and falls over approximately 24 hours. A protein accumulates, another senses a rise and slows production. Later they degrade and the cycle restarts. It is a pendulum with no pendulum, a clock with no gears, timing born of delay and return. When you dim screens at night, you are not merely being polite to your eyes. You are speaking to the tiny clocks in your cells, telling them the evening has come. And time touches thought. Attention has its beats. Memory has its consolidations. Emotion has its half-life. A feeling will crest, then decay, unless rehearsed. A new skill will scatter, unless repeated at intervals that brain chemistry prefers. When you rest between practice sessions, you're not doing nothing. You're letting the brain's timing circuits engrave what you learned. Spacing turns moments into memory by honoring the intervals your biology craves. Now let your mind drift to the cosmic frame that holds you. You have learned that gravity slows time and altitude hastens it. You have learned that speed stretches seconds. What, then, of your body as a clock in orbit? Astronauts carry their rhythms into microgravity. Circadian cycles sync by cabin lights. Heartbeats adapting to fluid shifts. Bones feeling less load and losing mineral with altered timing of repair. The orchestra retunes again, not broken, just playing a slightly different hall, with new acoustics, new echoes, new delays. Even there, relativity whispers. Clocks higher and faster tick differently than clocks below, and the timing of everything, from signal to hormone to heartbeat, is embedded in that truth. Consider also the smallest timings, where chemistry meets physics at the scale of the cell. Neurons fire because voltage-gated channels open for milliseconds. Synaptic vesicles fuse in microseconds. Receptors change shape in nanoseconds. These are not metaphors. They are deadlines. Miss them and signals blur. Meet them and thought becomes clear, movement becomes graceful, perception becomes reliable. Your sense of now, that fragile window in which you feel present. Maybe only a few seconds wide, stitched from countless swift events that the brain binds into one experience. There is tenderness in this precision. Your life is not counted only by birthdays or seasons, but by oscillations that never boast. Sodium in and out, calcium up and down, proteins folded and refold. When you are kind to yourself, a steady bedtime, morning light, regular meals, gentle movement, You are not performing rituals for ritual's sake. You are tuning clocks. You are aligning the wristwatch to the stars, the heartbeat to the breath, the cellular pendulum to the rising sun. And yet, for all this order, you are not a machine. You are a living score capable of improvisation. Stress accelerates some tempos and stalls others. Grief lengthens minutes and shortens years. Joy can make an afternoon vanish and leave a warm residue that lingers for months. The brain's valuation of time is elastic, and emotion is its lens. Physics sets the outer frame. Biology and meaning paint the inner sky. You live at their crossing, seconds that obey relativity, moments that obey story. So you rest and you listen. You hear your pulse not as a command, but as an invitation. You breathe not to fill a quota, but to mark gentle measures in which the day can fade. You dim the lights and the circadian clock nods gratefully. You quiet the room and the sleep cycles advance like waves. You close your eyes and the orchestra takes its cue. Soon the slow delta rhythms will rise. Soon repairs will begin. Soon the brain will walk to the halls of memory, hanging paintings where there were sketches. Remember, too, that the clocks of others touch yours. Conversation entrains breathing. Shared laughter synchronizes hearts. Walking side by side aligns footsteps. We become each other's metronomes. Love is partly this. Two circadian wheels learning a shared dawn. Two nervous systems co-regulating until calm is something held between. Even apart, we carry the timings we learn together, as if a favorite song continues in the head long after the room is emptied. Now put one more truth beside your pillow. The universe is not asking you to be perfect in your timing. It is offering you rhythm as a comfort. If a day runs late, another can run early. If a night is restless, the next can be deep. The body is forgiving because it expects to retune. Morning light helps. A warm cup helps. A kind word helps. Small signals, repeated gently, become tempo. Outside, the stars keep their clocks. Inside, you keep yours. Between them is the speed of light, the hush of gravity, and the soft arithmetic of breath. You need not hold all this at once. Cool in when to kindle, when to release, and when to restore. Trust its clocks the way sailors once trusted constellations. By watching often, by adjusting without fear, by remembering that even in clouds the stars still exist. Let the room dim further. Let your thoughts slow to the cadence of ocean swell. Somewhere, a protein is beginning its loop. Somewhere, a neuron resets its threshold. Somewhere, your heart hears your lungs and loosens its grip. You are drifting toward the work only sleep can do, the work your clocks were made to lead. You are lying still, your breath slow and even, when you notice how deeply gravity's hands cradle you. You remember how your body itself is a choir of clocks, each heartbeat and breath a rhythm of time. Tonight, you rise from that quiet inner world and step into a landscape vaster still, a world where mountains and oceans shape the seconds you live. For time is not the same on the peaks as it is in the valleys. Even the height of your bed above the sea changes the tempo of your hours. And though you do not feel it, though you cannot see it, science has measured it with instruments so precise they can count the universe's whispers. Imagine yourself at the base of a mountain, near the shore where waves fold into themselves with steady sighs. A clock ticks in your pocket. It feels faithful, dependable, an anchor in the endless rhythm of tides. But now you begin to climb. The air thins. Your chest works harder. Your view expands. When you reach the snowy peak, the world below looks small, as if you have risen not only in space, but into another layer of time. You hold your clock next to another left at the ocean's edge. To your senses, they agree, but in truth, they no longer do. The higher clock ticks faster. The deeper one ticks slower. Gravity has touched them differently, tugging at their seconds with invisible weight. The difference is impossibly small to human feeling. A billionth of a second gained or lost, an interval too subtle for skin or thought. Yet in laboratories, physicists have placed atomic clocks just a few feet apart, one on a shelf, one on a floor, and watch their readings drift apart. Even standing on a step stool moves you into a faster river of time. The world is layered in invisible streams, and you are always floating in one of them. Let the image calm you. Time is not rigid, not absolute, but a mist that deepens as you descend and thins as you climb. The oceans below are heavy with Earth's pull. Their clocks weigh down, slow by gravity's embrace. The mountains above are light, their clocks freed, their seconds running faster. To walk upward is to rise into a swifter tempo. To sink downward is to slip into a slower one. Each place you stand is a unique rhythm in relativity's orchestra. Now imagine a city by the sea, bustling with life. Children run, bells ring, waves crash against the harbor. Far above, on a mountain ridge, another community lives, slower breaths, sharper skies, longer shadows. To each, life feels ordinary. But physics whispers that their seconds are not equal. After years, the clocks would show a drift, the mountain dwellers ever so slightly older in comparison. They have lived faster seconds, though they never felt them pass. This truth extends outward into space itself. Astronauts circling Earth in the International Space Station live in a delicate balance. Their altitude frees them from Earth's gravity, speeding their clocks, but their velocity slows them down. The two effects nearly cancel, but not quite. The station's residents tick just a fraction differently than those on the ground. Across months and years, the drift becomes measurable. In every experiment, relativity proves faithful. Time is bound to place, time is bound to height. Breathe and imagine yourself as water in the ocean, pressed deep by gravity. Imagine yourself then as snow on the peak, lifted high into the sky. The snow melts, runs in streams, joins rivers, returns to the sea, and when it returns to the slower flow of time, water does not notice. Neither do you. And yet the truth is there. Altitude is a gentle hand, changing the tempo of the seconds you cannot feel. Perhaps this makes you wonder, what of your own life? If you spend years in the mountains, would you age differently than those by the sea? Yes, though the difference is unimaginably small. A lifetime at altitude might give you an extra breath, a fraction of a heartbeat, a sliver of a second more than a lifetime by the ocean. The universe offers no gift without balance. The difference is too slight to change your story, but it exists and it humbles you. It reminds you that even your simplest moments, drinking water, climbing stairs, walking a hill, are journeys through shifting rivers of time. The experiments continue. In Japan and Europe, in the United States, scientists build clocks so precise that they can sense the shift of time across mere inches. They speak of chronometric geodesy, mapping the Earth not only by its shape and mass, but by the tempo of time itself. Where gravity is stronger, clocks slow. Where gravity is weaker, clocks hasten. With enough precision, the world could be measured not by mountains and valleys of stone, but by mountains and valleys of time. Geography becomes chronology. The landscape becomes a clock. This thought lulls you like a lullaby. The mountains and oceans you have always admired, their majesty, their depth, their mystery, are not only features of space, they are sculptors of time. The Himalayas, the Andes, the Alps, all carry seconds differently than the basins and plains. The Mariana Trench ticks slower than Everest summit. Every step you take up or down is also a step forward or backward in tempo. Lie still and let yourself imagine drifting above Earth, seeing it as a great clock face. Not flat, not uniform, but rippling with contours of time. Peaks shine with quicker ticks. Valleys glow with slower ones. Oceans are dark pools where time lingers. Continents are ridges where it runs faster. The planet itself is alive with rhythms unseen. And you belong to this. Your life unfolds within these invisible tides. You eat, breathe, love, sleep, and dream in seconds that are unique to your place on Earth. You carry your own watch, your own heartbeat, your own circadian song. And yet beneath it all, relativity hums. Gravity sculpts your tempo. Altitude bends your clock. Mountains and oceans decide the shape of your time. You smile inwardly at the thought. Time is not unfair. It is simply vast. It does not punish you for standing at the shore, nor reward you for climbing a peak. It simply flows, adjusting the curves of Earth's mass, the heights of its ridges, the depths of its seas. You are carried gently along, never aware of the adjustments, never left behind. And as sleep draws nearer, a softer question stirs. If altitude can shift your seconds, if oceans and peaks can shape your tempo, then what happens when you leave Earth entirely? What happens when you drift not above mountains, but beyond the planet, into the great ocean of the universe itself? Time waits there too, bending in new ways, teaching you lessons from the stars. You lie still, eyes heavy, and above you the sky feels alive, filled not only with stars but with silent companions circling Earth. Satellites, those quiet machines that glide endlessly in their orbits. You rarely think of them. They are invisible to your eyes, hidden in the dark, but they're always there, always watching, always sending whispers of time back to the ground. Without them, your maps would blur, your flights would falter, your world of directions would dissolve into confusion. Tonight, you drift upward in your imagination, leaving the comfort of Earth's valleys and mountains, and join these satellites in the thin silence of space. Picture yourself inside one, a narrow cabin, instruments glowing faintly, windows opening onto the black sea of stars. Outside, Earth curves beneath you, a blue and white jewel spinning slowly against the void. Inside, a clock ticks, not like the watch on your wrist, not like the pendulum of a grandfather's clock, but with a delicate vibration of atoms, cesium or rubidium, tuned to perfection. Each oscillation marks a fraction of a second, so precise that it will not drift for millions of years. This is an atomic clock, and it is the heart of the satellite, the reason it can guide you across streets and oceans. But here's the secret. This clock does not keep the same time as the one in your pocket. Out here, high above Earth, far from its gravity, the seconds pass more quickly. The clock ticks faster than its twin on the ground. At the same time, the satellite is moving swiftly, orbiting Earth in 90 minutes, racing at thousands of miles per hour. That speed stretches its seconds, slows its time. Two forces act at once. Gravity makes its clock race ahead, motion makes it lag behind. Neither is stronger everywhere, but in the orbits of GPS satellites, gravity wins. The clocks above tick faster, by about 38 microseconds each day. It sounds tiny, almost laughably so, 38 millionths of a second. You might think such a sliver could never matter. But light is quick and time is strict. A microsecond of error means hundreds of meters of mistake. Within hours, your location on Earth would drift miles from truth. You could be standing in one city, while your GPS insisted you were in another. Within days, the system would collapse entirely, its promises of precision undone. And so, the engineers who built these satellites learned about relativity. They programmed the clocks to tick slightly slower on the ground, so that once they reached orbit, once gravity lightened and motion took hold, they would align with Earth's time. Each day, ground stations monitor them, adjusting, correcting, keeping harmony between sky and soil. It is an invisible dance, never noticed, never celebrated. But without it, your modern life would lose its compass. Breathe and let this soothe you. Every time you look at a map, every time you follow directions, you are leaning on Einstein's vision. His quiet revolt has become your daily convenience, his equations folded into the pulse of satellites. Without relativity, there would be no GPS. Without the correction of time, there would be no path, no place, no way to know where you stand. Now, imagine yourself drifting deeper into the satellite's orbit. You feel the strangeness of time's duality. Faster because of weaker gravity, slower because of speed. You sense how fragile this balance is, how carefully tuned, how impossibly delicate. You realize that the entire planet is engaged in a conversation with the sky, a conversation spoken not in words, but in seconds. Ground stations listen, satellites answer, clocks align, positions are fixed. Humanity is tethered to space not by ropes or beams, but by pulses of time. And yet there is poetry here. You are guided by machines you cannot see, by clocks you will never touch, by light signals racing invisibly through the air. You stand on a street corner, phone in hand, arrow pointing north, and you forget the miracle. But tonight you remember. You are located because satellites high above compare their moments, measure their drifts, and send you the truth of where you are. You are never lost because time itself is holding you. Lie back and picture the satellites as lanterns in the night, circling endlessly, each one whispering, "This is the moment, this is the moment, this is the moment." Your phone hears several at once, compares their whispers, and finds the intersection that is you. You are a point in the fabric of space and time, triangulated by rhythms you cannot hear. The satellites are clocks in the sky, and you are their listener. This is a secret drift. Left alone, they would wander, their time peeling away from Earth's. But corrected, synchronized, tuned by relativity, they become guardians of precision. Their drift is not a failure. It is a reminder of the universe's deeper truth, that time itself is not absolute, that it bends under gravity and speed, that even machines must bow to the laws of space-time. Breathe again. Feel how this truth extends to you. You too are drifting. Always, your seconds are shaped by your place, your motion, your gravity. The difference is small, unnoticed, but it is real. You and the satellites are alike. Creatures of time, subject to its bends, guided by its laws. And as you feel sleep drawing closer, you sense another question rising softly. If satellites drift because of gravity and speed, then what of journeys farther still? What of astronauts leaving Earth behind, venturing to Mars, to the outer planets, to the deep ocean of space? How does time embrace them there? You close your eyes and still feel the hum of satellites above, their clocks whispering the truth of your location back to Earth. But tonight, your imagination drifts farther. You are no longer tethered to orbit, no longer circling your home. You are leaving Earth behind, sailing into the vast ocean of the universe, where time itself becomes a different companion. The familiar gravity of your planet falls away. The horizon expands, and with each mile, you slip deeper into the cosmic sea. Picture yourself aboard a spacecraft bound for Mars. Inside, the air is still, the instruments glow faintly, and your body feels both heavy with routine and light with possibility. Days pass in measured rituals, meals, rest, careful work. But outside, the measured time itself has shifted. Your ship moves swiftly, its speed stretching your seconds. Your distance from Earth's gravity frees you further, allowing your clock to tick faster. Together, these effects create a tempo unlike any on the ground. To you, nothing feels different. Your heart still beats. Your circadian rhythm still cycles with artificial dawns and dusks. Yet compared to those back on Earth, your journey unfolds with a different measure. When you return, you will find that you and those you left behind are no longer in perfect sync. This truth is not fiction but physics. Time dilation is not confined to satellites and laboratories. It belongs to every traveler who dares to leave Earth. The farther you go, the faster you move, the more pronounced the difference. Imagine astronauts orbiting Mars, looking back toward the small blue dot of Earth. To them, time runs smoothly, unbroken. But when signals travel back home, the messages carry not only minutes of delay from distance, but subtle differences from relativity. Even communication itself bears the imprint of time's bending. Let yourself drift into this thought. Space is not only distance, but duration. To travel outward is to move not just farther, but differently through time. Each planet, each orbit, each path through the solar system carries its own tempo. Earth's seconds are not Mars' seconds. The rhythms of Jupiter differ from those of Saturn. A journey outward is a journey into new calendars, new clocks, new measures of age. Breathe and picture the International Space Station again, circling Earth in 90-minute loops. Its astronauts already live this difference, a balance between gravity's loosening and velocity's slowing. Now imagine them venturing beyond, toward the moon, toward Mars, toward deep space. Each step outward is a deeper immersion in time's ocean, a drift away from Earth's tempo. For them, seconds are not lost, not gained, but shifted, stretched, or compressed depending on their path. And yet, within their bodies, the orchestra clock still plays. Their circadian rhythms adapt to artificial light. Their sleep cycles adjust to cabins. Their cells repair in microgravity. Their subjective sense of time remains intact. They do not feel the dilation. They feel only the long stretch of days, the endless stars outside the window, the rhythm of work and rest. But physics whispers quietly. Their hours are not Earth's hours. Their moments are not Earth's moments. Now let your imagination drift even farther, past the solar system, into the galaxy itself. Stars whirl around the center in immense orbits that take hundreds of millions of years. Time on those stars, measured by their gravity and their speed, flows differently than time here. If you could step across a galaxy, Comparing clocks, you would find a symphony of differences, each place with its own tempo, each orbit carving its own melody. The universe is not a single beat, but an orchestra of shifting measures. This is why we call an ocean. Space is not empty. It is filled with currents of time, tides of relativity, swells of gravity, and waves of velocity. You are always adrift in it, even when you lie still in your bed. Earth carries you like a ship across the Milky Way, sailing at hundreds of kilometers per second. You are a passenger, and your seconds are shaped by that journey. There is peace in this thought. You are never alone, never separate. You are part of a voyage that began long before you were born, a voyage that will continue long after you are gone. Your body, your moments, your memories, all are streams in the greater ocean of time. And so you rest, letting the immensity of it soothe you rather than overwhelm you. You picture Earth behind you, small and glowing. You picture Mars ahead, a red world waiting. You picture the deep beyond, where stars spin and galaxies drift. Everywhere, time is bending, stretching, adjusting, but always flowing. You are carried along, safe in its current. Soon, you will dream of even stranger shores, of places where time nearly stops, where gravity crushes seconds into silence, where horizons mark the edge of forever. But tonight, you float gently in the ocean of the universe, calm in the knowledge that time is not one river, but many. You are floating now, carried by the ocean of the universe, your body calm, your breath slow, your thoughts softened by the vastness around you. Stars shine like lanterns on distant shores. Galaxies drift like islands across a cosmic sea. But in the quiet of this dream, your attention drifts towards something darker, something heavier, something that bends not only space but time itself until it nearly stops. You feel the pull before you see it. The hush of gravity so deep that light itself cannot escape. Tonight, you dream with black holes. Picture one in your mind, not as a whole, not as emptiness, but as a presence, a shadow wrapped in silence. Around it, space itself curves inward, a funnel in the fabric of the universe. Matter swirls around its edge in glowing spirals, gas, dust, shattered stars, each particle screaming in light as it falls, then vanishing beyond the boundary, gone forever. That boundary is called the event horizon. To cross it is to leave the visible universe, to step into a place where time slows toward stillness. Imagine drifting closer, from a distance. The black hole looks serene, a dark sphere against a halo of fire. You watch stars bend around it, their light curving like ribbons pulled into orbit. You see the accretion disk blaze with heat, brighter than suns, as matter falls inward. But as you approach, something stranger begins to happen. Time itself stretches. Your clock ticks slower. Your seconds lengthen. To you, life continues. Heartbeat steady, breath smooth, thought gentle. But to an observer far away, your movements crawl, your signals slow, your very being seems to freeze. This is the dreamlike paradox of black holes. Time does not break. It bends to its extreme. At the event horizon, time from the outside view nearly stops. You could live and breathe, think and feel, but the universe beyond would see you trapped in a single moment, stretched infinitely thin across the boundary. To fall into a black hole is not simply to fall through space. It is to fall through time itself. Let the thought soothe you rather than frighten you. For in this dream, you are safe. You are not falling, but imagining, letting your mind drift toward the edges of physics. You picture time as a river once more. On Earth, it flows swiftly, carrying you from moment to moment. In the mountains and oceans, it flows slightly faster or slower. Near satellites, it drifts and corrects. But here, near a black hole, the river slows until it becomes a pool, still and silent, reflecting eternity. Some black holes are small, the remnants of stars, their masses compacted into singular points. Others are supermassive, millions or billions of times the sun's weight, resting at the centers of galaxies like anchors in the cosmic sea. Around them, entire galaxies spin, their stars and dust obey an invisible hand of gravity. And at their edges, time bends into strange shapes. Faster, slower, stretched into spirals that no clock could ever record fully. You might wonder, what happens if someone were to fall in? The truth is twofold. To the falling traveler, Life feels continuous. They cross the horizon without pain, moving steadily forward. To the distant observer, the traveler never arrives. They hover at the edge, signals slowing, light dimming, frozen forever. Both are true, each perspective valid, each revealing time's relativity in its most mysterious form. There is humility in this paradox. Black holes remind you that reality is not absolute, that perspective shapes truth, that time itself is woven differently depending on where you stand. You're always inside your own frame of reference, always living your seconds as normal, even if the universe beyond measures them otherwise. Breathe and let this comfort you. You are never late, never early, always perfectly on time in your own frame. Even at the edge of a black hole, you carry your rhythm with you. The universe allows you this consistency, even as it bends everything else. Now imagine the ultimate extreme, the singularity at the center of a black hole where the known laws of physics dissolve. Space and time converge into a point of infinite density, a place where equations fail, where the map of reality ends. You cannot picture it fully. No one can. It is mystery incarnate, the silent heart of relativity. Yet even here there is a kind of poetry. The singularity is not chaos but a boundary of knowledge, a horizon of understanding. To dream with black holes is to accept that not everything must be solved. Some truths can remain as whispers, carrying you gently into sleep. And so you let the image fade. You no longer see the swirling disk or the bending stars. You feel only the calm gravity of rest, the sense that time itself is slowed to match your breath. You drift, as if near an event horizon, into a stillness where seconds stretch into infinity. You are not afraid. You are held. You are dreaming with black holes. You are resting now, wrapped in the quiet that the night always brings, your breath soft, your body weightless upon the bed. You have wandered through the mysteries of relativity, the whispers of clocks, the bending of space, the sculpting of gravity, the stretching of speed, the drifting of satellites, the relentless pulse of light, the hidden clocks of your body, the shifts of mountains and oceans, the orbits of machines, the voyages beyond Earth, and the still horizons of black holes. Each step has led you deeper into wonder, each chapter another soft ripple in the vast ocean of time. And now, you arrive here at the threshold of the final thought, the endless present. Close your eyes. Feel your breath as it moves in, moves out. Notice how it is always now, always this moment. You do not breathe in the past. You do not exhale into the future. You breathe here in the present. This is the truth hidden beneath all the bends and curves of relativity. No matter how time flows differently in the universe, you live always in the present. Whether seconds are stretched by gravity, slowed by speed, or frozen at the edge of a black hole, your life is always unfolding in a single now. This is not a limitation, but a gift. For the present moment is the only one you ever truly need. Memories live as echoes within it. Dreams live as seeds within it. But the breath, the heartbeat, the soft turning of thought, all happen here. Time dilation and relativity remind you that the universe offers many rhythms, many tempos, many currents. But sleep teaches you that peace is found not in chasing them, but in settling into the now. Imagine yourself lying at the center of all the clocks you have encountered. Around you are satellites, ticking with atomic precision. Above you are stars, their light carrying centuries of memory. Beyond are galaxies, their orbits spanning billions of years. And yet, in the midst of this cosmic orchestra, you hear only one rhythm, your own breath, your own heart. You realize that you are not lost among the clocks. You are the listener, the one who makes sense of them, the one who lives inside the melody of the present. Let your thoughts slow. The mind loves to wander, to replay the past, to anticipate the future, to worry, to plan. But when you return to this moment, when you notice the coolness of air in your nose, the warmth of blankets on your skin, you discover that the present is timeless. It has no length, no edge. It does not shrink or expand. It simply holds you endlessly. Even sleep itself is a lesson in this truth. For when you dream, you do not measure time. Hours may pass, but you feel only a story unfolding seamlessly. You may wake and wonder whether it lasted a minute or a night. The brain suspends its sense of clock time, and you drift into the endless present of dreams. It is the closest you come each day to the horizon of black holes, the timelessness of light, the stillness of relativity. Sleep is the body's way of returning you to eternity for a while, of reminding you that time is not only measured in seconds, but in presence. And so you surrender to it. You do not resist sleep. You do not chase it. You let it arrive like a tide, slow and sure, pulling you gently into its embrace. You feel yourself drifting not forward or backward, but inward into the spaciousness of now. You might think of all that has been explored: Einstein's trains, rivers of time, gravity's hands, the shifting of clocks, the secret drift of satellites, the relentless journey of light, the mystery of black holes. Each of these truths belongs to physics, to science, to the universe's grand design, but they also belong to you. They shape your life, guide your maps, influence your sleep, bend your body's clocks. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are an expression of it, a participant in its endless flow. Breathe again and let that flow carry you. Time is not an enemy. It is not a thief. It is a fabric, and you are woven into it. When seconds stretch or shrink, when clocks drift or align, you remain here, anchored in the present. No matter what relativity reveals, you're always precisely on time in your own frame. This is a comfort you carry into sleep. The knowledge that you cannot fall behind, cannot race ahead. The universe bends and curves, but you remain at its center, always now. The present is endless because it is renewed with every breath, with every heartbeat, with every dream. And so you let go of effort. You let go of thought. You sink into the quiet, into the darkness behind your eyes, into the silence between ticks. You realize that sleep itself is a form of time dilation, a place where hours vanish into a single sigh, where the night passes like a whisper, where you awaken into morning as if no time has gone at all. The endless present is not something to seek. It is something you already inhabit. It is here, holding you. It is here, soothing you. It is here as long as you breathe. Now let yourself drift. The journey is complete, but the story has no end, for the present moment is infinite. You close your eyes, and in that closing, you discover eternity.